In 2013, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service reported 1,436 endangered species in the United States alone. The USFW says that though we are running out of time, one way to prevent extinction is through research. Wildlife ecologist Susan Felege is here to tell us about some of her research her and her team have done to help save numerous bird species. Thanks for being on the show with us today, Susan.
Thank you.
So in a nutshell, can you kind of tell me what some of the research is that you and your partner have done?
Yes, so actually it's me and a team of undergraduates and graduate students, as well as a computer scientist, are looking at birds such as sharp-tailed grouse, which are not an endangered species, but an important game bird, and we're looking at their behaviors as well as how gas and oil is impacting them. And then we're also looking at behaviors and different aspects of federally listed birds of piping plovers and least terns.
Perfect. Okay, so besides the grouse, are there only the 3 types that you're doing? Are you doing the kinds by the Missouri River as well?
Those the plovers and terns are on the Missouri River.
Okay,
so
got it.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you start this project?
I started the sharp-tailed grouse in 2012, actually in my first summer here as a biologist in the biology department. And then we started the plovers and terns last summer. So we've been doing video for 2 years on sharp-tailed grouse, and we're just about to start our second field season with plovers and terns.
Very cool. So why do you think this research is important?
We can understand a lot about how we as humans are impacting the wildlife and in particularly different bird species. So this is important to understand their behavioral interactions with different animals on the landscape, some community ecology, but also just what implications things like gas and oil are having, or activities on the Missouri River.
Very cool. So from what I understand, you guys use cameras a lot. Kind of explain that process to me a little bit.
Okay, so we find the bird nests, and that can be in a variety of different ways. Whether it's a grouse, we have actually little telemetry units, so they have a little signal that they emit. We figure out where they're at, and so we'll locate their nests, and then we'll install a little tiny camera, and this is actually a grouse camera here.
Cool.
It's a standard surveillance camera that you could buy for monitoring surveillance and security.
Yeah.
And then it's camouflage, so it has some paint to cover it up.
So they can't see it.
So, yep, and it's about half a meter or so away from the nest that we put it. We pound the stake in, we put a much grass around it, and then we have a box that it runs back to, a cable does, and it's a little SD card that gets a DVR and an SD card, and it's powered by a battery, much like you'd have in your lawn tractor.
So do you guys only do the video during the day, or do you capture it 24/7? How does it work?
We capture it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The camera itself looks a little bit bulky, and that's because it has 24 LEDs, so little light-emitting diodes that allow us to capture video at night, which happens to be black and white at night, and color during the day.
Very cool. Now we have a video of some of the videos that you and your partner have captured a little bit here. Can you tell us kind of what we're going to be watching about? I mean, what are some of the videos that you've gotten?
We've got a variety of videos of predators, which is what you're watching right now. It is a harrier, so a raptor that is actually eating the eggs of a sharp-tailed grouse out in western North Dakota. Here we actually have a fortunate success of a nest, so little grouse are hatching and just starting to emerge. They'll emerge from the nest just within a couple hours after they actually hatch.
Oh, so they can walk right away.
So they can walk right away.
Very cool.
And here is actually where we were testing our cameras. So sharp-tailed grouse will congregate on what's called a lek. This lek is where the males will display for females, and when they do that, you get some very interesting dancing that they do, fancy footwork.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of cool.
Very exciting, yes.
So what made you want to start this specific project?
The sharp-tailed grouse one, I was interested in what was happening with the oil fields, the gas and oil fields, and so I wanted to know what was going on relative to the predator ecology and how birds were responding to it.
Now, what have you found so far in the oil fields? We'll start off with that one.
We'll start there. In the oil fields, one of the things we've seen is actually a little bit higher nest success, meaning that more of the nests are succeeding inside some of the intense gas and oil. Now, that seems a little strange, but what we're seeing, we're also monitoring the predators, and the predators seem to be shifting to areas with lower intensity of gas and oil, that the disturbances might be a whole lot too much for them, basically.
So now what sorts of things are you finding on the Missouri River then?
On the Missouri River, a lot of what we're actually looking at there is how monitoring methods that we as researchers do on the ground. We want to know how good we are at determining well, first, if the nest succeeds or fails, and secondarily, if it does fail, who are the responsible predators there. So far we're finding our researchers are pretty good at accurately classifying whether or not it succeeds or fails, but some of the predators are hard to identify. Those might be crows or magpies. You can have some skunks on the Missouri River, yeah. Some are raccoons, some are coyotes.
Got it. So can anybody watch this video?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we encourage it. So
how do you do that? How do you encourage it?
Well, as part of it, we collect literally hundreds of thousands of hours of video.
Yeah.
And that means lots of hours for my team to look through. And they are extremely efficient, but not that efficient to get through all this video. So you can go to Wildlife at Home. If you Google that, you can come up with Wildlife at Home. It's a UND project that is essentially a team effort of computer scientists. My collaborator, Travis DeSalle, in computer science here at UND, has designed a website, and you can go in, you can volunteer and sign up for an account and get a chance to watch video online and tell us what you see.
So quickly, one last question. What can people do to help save these birds?
One of the biggest things is learn about some of these impacts. It's great to understand what kind of implications we have, and so we want to see them, people just getting excited about conservation and trying to do things that encourage conservation.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Susan.
Thank you.